Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today's topic is going to be about the MR12. You're using race fuel. The positives and negatives of using race fuel for a motorcycle. I don't know about cars, trucks, or anything like that. We're talking about motorcycles. I have used the MR12 on my bike. Have I recorded it? No, but I did record me and my friend racing late at night, but I just didn't have my GoPro on. So that's that. But so we're going to talk about how the bike felt and what I had to do and things to be cautious about. Hold on, I'm trying to pay attention here. Oh, I hate the red light. So when I use the MR12, when my bike goes to the high RPMs, you can feel the pistons. To me, it feels like the motor's about to blow because the pistons are really overworking itself. So all the power I get is at the very tippy top. It's at the very top of the RPMs. So that's when I feel the pistons really hitting hard. So now for a bike, you can feel on a bike more. So like you can feel your pistons, you can feel your motor, you can feel everything because you're sitting on your motor. So I can feel the motor overworking itself. Now my bike has 24,600 miles on it. No motor work done to it. Means that it is stock valves, stock springs, stock cams, pistons, piston rings. Everything is stock motor-wise. I haven't done any motor work. So since this bike has so much miles, plus it's an 08, the motor is not as healthy to be running MR12. Now some will argue with me and whatnot, but this is not a car, this is a bike. We rev out to 13,000, a car does not rev out to 13,000. So our motors take more of an abuse than a car does. So you can keep your argument to yourself. Alright, so now the positives is that yes, you will get more horsepower and torque out of your race fuel. You should be. But you have to get a dyno tune. Or you have a power commander that adjusts itself with the O2 sensor. You have to put a whole bunch of stuff. It's an auto tune, that's what it's called. So you can have that and it can tune itself, but I prefer a dyno tune. I do a dyno tune. Now with MR12 you're gonna need more things on your bike for older bikes. Now we're not talking about newer bikes, but I'm gonna talk about it right now, matter of fact. So newer bikes, you don't have to have a power commander to make adjustments because they do an ECU flash and they can work with the ECU, doing the tune through that, through a dyno tune. So for older bikes, for me to have my quick shifter through power commander, electronic one, because you can have an air shifter, but that is like overcomplicated. You have a compressor, some lines, and too much. I don't want to deal with none of that stuff, so I'd rather just do electronic. Okay, so since I have electronic quick shifter through power commander, I might as well do everything through the power commander. So when we did the MR12, I have to have an what's it called? The ignition module. So what is the ignition module? It connects to your spark plugs. So it delays the spark or it can advance the spark. So it's called advancing the timing or delaying the timing. So we delay the timing to run the bike cooler on MR12. Now Do I know if that's affecting horsepower and torque? No, I do not, because I am not a genius on dynos. If I was a genius, then I would be doing my own dyno. So yeah, so we delayed the timing to make it 1 degree cooler. I think the bike had 175 horsepower. But I'm going to do a separate video from this, and we're going to compare the 93 octane to the MR12. Now, we did these runs on opposite days and opposite times. So the first one, we did it earlier in the morning, which it was colder. And then the MR12, we did it towards 3 o'clock, so it's afternoon time, which was hotter. So we lost more horsepower with the air being hot and not cool. So, but I want to wait for that video to explain what he did and why we got what we got, so I can explain that later. Okay, so we talked about the positives of having MR12, which makes your bike faster. Negatives is if your bike has high miles and it's an older bike, it runs into the possibility of you might blow that motor. And then the other negatives, there's more negatives than positives, but depending on what you do, it will probably benefit you or not. So more negatives is if you leave that MR12 in your bike overnight, you're going to damage your fuel pump, your fuel tank, your injectors, and everything else inside internally with the motor, because that fuel has a lot of chemicals to make it run the way it does, and that chemical eats away at your gas tank, your fuel pump, your injectors, and if that fuel is sitting inside your motor, it will damage whatever is inside there too. I probably won't damage inside the motor, because I don't think fuel should be left inside the motor. So it should probably your fuel injectors, your gas pump, your gas tank will get damaged. Okay, so then how do you fix that problem? So for one, before you even put an MR12, you have to have a machine that takes out the fuel, and you're able to dump it into another container. So you gotta have that is a pump. I have the electrical one. Some of them have like one that's manual. It's like a turkey baster type of thing. But anyways, you take that older gas out. Now you do not want to leave your gas tank completely empty, because your gas tank or the filter itself can go dry, and then when it goes dry, your fuel pump can go bad. Then you got to replace your fuel pump. Now so what I do is I take out the MR12 and I run the bike until the bike turns off on its own. So run the gas completely out of the lines. I put the 93, because my bike has 93 dyno tune and the MR12. So I put the 93 in, I run the bike with the 93 for at least 5 to 10 minutes, just so it can make sure that 93 is really in there. And then that's good, and you're done. The bad thing about MR12 that it goes bad really fast. If you're not planning to use it within that week, it's gonna go bad, and your bike's not gonna run good. I'm not gonna say it's gonna damage your bike, it's just not gonna run good. The air mixture with the fuel mixture, the timing, everything will be off, because that gas is no longer good. I've damaged a whole 5-gallon MR12, plus I had some left over from my second fuel tank, or my fuel can, that didn't run completely on the bike, so that went bad. So this gas is very expensive, and if you're going to use it, you got to make sure when you buy it, you're planning to use it within that time period of you buying it. I was told it's better if you go to an authorized dealer for the MR12, that you can just go there, buy it, and you're done. I've been ordering mine online through VP Racing, and I would get mine delivered at home, which is very expensive. It's like $78 just to get it shipped to my house, because they're located in Texas and I'm located in Pennsylvania. So bad things is that the MR12 goes bad really fast. It can damage your bike. Running it hard can damage it. Leaving the MR12 overnight can also damage it. But positives is, again, that you do get horsepower and torque out of it. You can get at least up to 10 horsepower and torque out of it, depending on your bike, and depending on the condition of the bike, and depending on the condition of that day that you do the dyno tune, and who's doing your dyno tune. So there's a lot of variance, but you should be getting at least 10 horsepower and 10 torque, roughly. So if you're doing drag racing and you're doing it for fun, and you know the risk that you might blow your motor and you know might damage stuff, and that you're okay with that, then you're fine, right? If you want to do circuit racing, use the MR12, that's fine also. If you're making money off of circuit racing and drag racing, that's fine also. But when is it not fine is that you didn't know the risk of running MR12. Now, if you're gonna run MR12, you should make sure that your bike is fully modded. I mean, like an air filter, full exhaust, ECU flash, you know, all those types of things to get it fully modded before using MR12, to make sure that the MR12 is getting the right air in and air out. Because again, this stuff will mess up your bike. So we will have another video coming up, which will be showing the MR12 numbers and the 93 numbers, and we'll discuss everything and how he's doing his dyno tune and what did this, what did that. So we'll explain a little bit more on that, and we'll have some racing videos. I don't know if it'll be this year. We're in 2021. It might be in 2022 where I can make racing videos with the MR12. And we'll do drag racing, so we'll be able to find our numbers for the 93 octane and the numbers for the MR12, and we would compare numbers. Yes, there's a lot of variance in that too, because you know, let's say the 93, that day I was running really good, and then the day that I put the MR12, I was doing very crappy on the launch, and so there's a lot of variance. But it's still to show you guys as much as I can, to give you guys as much knowledge as I can. So I hope you guys, you know, learn something new. But again, do your research before you buy MR12 and before you put it in your bike. If you are going to get MR12, you have to get a dyno tune. Have to. I would not get a power commander and start messing with numbers. If you don't know the numbers yourself, you're going to end up messing up your bike, and bye-bye go bike. Now again, another reason why I like my power commander for my bike is that I have the map switch. So again, I have a 93 octane map, and then I have the MR12 map. I know you can with your newer bikes that don't need a power commander. You can use A, B, and C as your map switches. So if you go, let's say A is your 93, your B is your MR12. So I know you can do it like that, because more Mafia talks about it. But I hope you guys learned something. And always be safe. It's starting to get chilly out. Stay warm. And I will always catch you guys on the next video.